Hello everyone, the Kentucky Patriot. I want to wish you and your family the very best this 4th of July weekend as we celebrate Independence Day. And I know there's a lot of craziness. I know there's a lot of things going on right now and everybody's trying to sort it out and make sense of everything. And I'm just going to try to cover a lot of topics without going too long with this video. And this is just my thoughts and my opinions. And we need to understand that in America, we have the right to have different opinions without being somebody's enemy. I've even heard people on the gun forum say, well, we shouldn't come together. All people want to say is, let's just come together. And here's the thing, just because you want to come together and we want what's best for this country doesn't mean that we're compromised and we're not standing up for the flag or for our Second Amendment rights. And I'll explain a little bit what I'm talking about, but we're living, and I've bragged on the gun community. I mean, for the most part, they're wonderful people, but I think I made a video about common sense carry and said something to the effect of what we do, how we act, and how we portray ourselves, it affects how people sees us as gun owners, and it affects the Second Amendment. It affects the view people have of gun owners and the Second Amendment rights, and we paint that in a bad light. It just gives them fuel for the fire, so to speak. So what I'm saying is we need patriots and people that present gun owners and people in a good light in this day and age that sure, we want to stand for freedom, sure, we want to fight for our Second Amendment rights, but I guess what I'm saying is to say all this is we need to pick and choose our battles, okay? And I thought of this the other day. I know a lot of times people think that they're right because the Bible says every man's right in their own eyes. So you Glock guys absolutely think that Glock's the best and you're right. You revolver guys think revolvers are the best and revolvers is right. You think 40 Smith & Wesson, it's the best, or 45's the best, or 9mm the best, and you feel real strong in your opinions. But here's the thing, just because somebody else doesn't agree with you, that does not make them your enemy. Okay, I think a good example of this, if you were sitting in church with Jack Wilson and you didn't like Smith & Wesson at all, and you hated the 357 SIG, you thought you didn't like that round at all. The thing of it is, when your life's in danger and a guy steps up with the Smith & Wesson with a 357 SIG and saves your life, see, we're all in this together. So it's great to have opinions. It's great to have your likes and dislikes, and what may fit you doesn't fit somebody else. But what I'm saying is we have an opportunity here, I think, to really, as patriots and Constitution lovers and Second Amendment advocates and gun owners, we really have a great opportunity here. But I think it's important how we handle this opportunity. For instance, I didn't watch the video, so I'm not an expert, so if I get something wrong, I'm sorry. But you know what I'm talking about. I don't even know their names, but it was a man and woman that had defended their home basically with an AR, and she had a little pistol against a protest. Now, there's so many things going on, because here's what you got to understand. People have the right to a peaceful protest, whether you agree with them or not. They have that constitutional right. Now, if I may not have all my facts straight, like I said, I didn't watch the video. I'm just getting bits and pieces. But from what I gather, they had an iron gate or some kind of gate that was bent and collapsed in and open. So if that's the case, that's their private residence, then that is not a peaceful protest, okay? So I'm not going to get too political on you. There's a whole lot of great guys that John Lovell covers a lot of things. Johnny, go over and check him out. He covers a lot of things. But I'm just going to give my 2 cents on this. And I'm not saying everybody handles every situation right or how you think they ought to, but I heard people saying that that the couple didn't use finger discipline and they shouldn't even be able to own a rifle. Well, I'm for gun safety. You've heard me preach gun safety on here all the time, but here's the thing: just because they didn't use finger discipline or trigger discipline or do everything you think they ought to do, I can't believe some people are saying they shouldn't even own a right. They should lose their rights to have firearms. They shouldn't even never own a gun. If that protest was no longer peaceful to the point they lost their gate, what would have happened if they wouldn't have had those guns? I mean, sure, I'm all for gun safety. And like I said, I didn't watch the video, so before somebody gets on here and hollers at me and say I'm uninformed, like I'm telling you upright, I didn't watch the video. But I'm going to be honest with you, and you can disagree with me, that's okay. But if I live in a gate, in a fence, and somebody breaches that gate and comes into my yard or in my private property, that's no longer a peaceful protest. I'm not telling you that I would have had my finger on the trigger too. I'm being honest with you. The time you put your finger on the trigger is when you have an active threat. And you know me, I'm by no means inciting violence, but I believe in the Castle Doctrine with all my heart. You have a right to a constitutional right for a peaceful protest, but if you breach my gate, my wall, you come in, that's no longer peaceful. Okay, and that's the way I see it. Those people, whether you agree with everything they did or not, they didn't shoot anybody. They didn't hurt anybody. They just stood their ground. And as patriots, and I'm again, do not say, well, he's on there advocating violence. He's saying you ought to have your finger on the trigger when somebody. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am telling you is the Bible says the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. You can look that up yourself. And we ought to be peacekeepers. We got to do our best to love our neighbor as ourselves, be good neighbors, be good stewards, help those. But I'm telling you, we got to defend our homes and our families and the Second Amendment and the Constitution, because the Second Amendment goes, so does all the other rights. I believe that with all my heart. What's going to protect your First Amendment right if they take the Second Amendment? So anyway, whether you agree with them, that couple, how they handled it or not, that's up to you. I won't debate you, but I will tell you this: their gate was broken in, as far as I know. If that's the case, and that's true, and they went out there and they sent a signal, hey, not here. And that's the thing. I'm for peace. I'm for avoiding a situation. I've told you long before this stuff's ever happened. I've told you, if somebody cuts line in Walmart, just let it go. There's no sense in, if somebody gives you an obscene gesture going down the road, take the high road. Don't, respond. Just, hey, let's avoid a confrontation. Let's take the high road. Let's turn the other cheek. But there comes a point in time when we absolutely have to take our Second Amendment rights. And again, I'm not advocating violence. I'm not talking you grab your AK-47 and run down here on the street and flash it and try to be. No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that you and I have, I believe with all my heart, a duty to protect our family, to protect our homes, and there's an old saying, your home is your castle, and that's absolutely right. And I've said this before, but Nehemiah in the Bible, he said, fight for your wives, your sons, your brethren, your daughters, your land. Again, we're not looking for trouble, but I'm telling you, we are living in perilous times when it pays to be prepared. And we have a great opportunity here, and again, I'm not running down any gun forums or any people on there, but this was back about the start of the COVID, when I probably shouldn't have said that word on here, because now my video will probably get flagged, but probably get flagged anyway. But anyway, long story short, there was a lady down in Florida on one of the chats, and I'd say she was new to the chat because it was a gun forum, it was one of the gun chats on Facebook, and I used my real name on there, so I wasn't like a Kentucky Patriot, I'm just me, so I won't tell you what chat it was on. But anyway, at the start of it, she said that she was looking for a gun to have to protect herself, looking for a 9mm, maybe some ammo. She couldn't find any. I guess they were hard to find. Well, as soon as she put that, I thought, well, here we have a great opportunity for probably somebody that really wasn't a gun lover or never really seen the need for it, and it probably wasn't that high on her issue. She probably thought, I'll never need it when it comes to voting. I don't really care. The Second Amendment's not that important to me, to now saying, hey, I can see now a value in this. And here's the thing, some people don't really understand the value of it. They don't really see the need. Everybody thinks we live in a flowery world where everything's going to be all right. This isn't really going to happen. It really isn't going to happen. And then you have a situation that arises like this, and you're like, oh wow. And if you watch this video and you're one of them, I'm not knocking you, but I've had several people that I talked to for years, but they really didn't seem much important, that's asked me now about guns, that's asked me about ammo. Where can I get ammo? And I've even had to give some people some ammo, and people say, well, they should have done this, let them go. No, we need to help one another. Now, we can't supply everybody, we understand that, but if you see somebody in need or in help, it's our duty to say, sure, I'll give you some ammo. Sure, I want you and your family protected, because it's not about being right. It's not about, well, I made a video 2 years ago and told you to prepare. You didn't prepare. You're on your own. No, I'm telling you now. Just, have some stuff. Be prepared. If nothing happens, great. If something does, you're prepared. But anyway, she had mentioned that. Before I seen the first response, I thought, here we go. Here's a great opportunity to say, hey, here's a good place to get ammo. I found some over here online. Glad to see you're on our side now. But when you start belittling people and berate people and say, you idiot, we told you you should have done this and you should have done that. What I'm telling you is we have a great opportunity to bring people to our side, because what I'm telling us is sometimes we get so upset with each other and we get so frustrated because somebody carries a 38 and they ought to carry a semi-automatic, or somebody carries a Glock and I've told them forever that HK's better, whatever. What I'm saying is we get to be fighting amongst ourselves. It's even in Kentucky, our motto, our state motto, united we stand, divided we fall. I mean this. If you come to my house and you love this country and you defend your family and you defend my family, I don't care what caliber you have. Now, I think all guns, they have pros and cons. As I've discussed here before, if you're going to carry a revolver, you've got to realize you've probably got 5 or 6 shots. Are you going to carry a backup gun? Are you going to carry a speed loader? You have pros and cons. Are you going to carry a 22? I've told you my thoughts about that. But that's up to you. I would still rather you have a 22 as have nothing. So we need to, now I'll tell you what side I'm not on. And that is if you're after my guns, if you're against the Constitution, if you don't love this country, if you're ready to try to overthrow the government and set up shop there and somewhere in Seattle, and you disregard and you swear allegiance to another country, and you give up your rights and citizenship and say you no longer be a part of it, you're not on my side. Okay, I don't care. This isn't a race issue. This isn't any other thing than we're either Americans or we're not. Okay, and as an American, we ought to love this country. I don't agree with everything that goes on in this country, but we ought to love the Constitution. And if you love the Constitution, you're not trying to take my rights. You're not trying to take my speech. You're not trying to take my rights to keep and bear arms. Then hey, let me tell you. Then we're in this together, okay? And I think that's what we need to keep focused, because some people get so upset if they have a disagreement. I disagreed with somebody on something simple, a friend for years, and all of a sudden now they say, well, you're not patriotic, you're not a patriot, you're a hypocrite. We're on the same team here, guys. And like I said, if you defend your home with a shotgun, we're still on the same side. If that guy would have had a shotgun instead of an AR, we're still in the same shot. Now, does a shotgun have pros and cons? Sure. Does AR have pros and cons? Sure. And we can discuss those. We can debate which caliber's better. We can debate which holster's better. We can debate what carry round's better. We can debate what we think, what we like about capacity, and do it all in, in good humor. Whether, you tell me all the reasons why you don't like what I've got. I'll tell you all the reasons I do. And, hey, maybe you'll convince me. Maybe I'll say, you know what, they do have a good point. Same thing with home defense or whatever. Let's put our ideas together. But I guess what I'm saying is these are crazy times, and we've got some people that's so far over here that's saying these outlandish things that's wanting to do this, and it's putting us gun owners in a bad light, the way they talk and what they say and what they do. Then you got people here on this side trying to take our guns and say we shouldn't have a Second Amendment right. But you and I, as fellow citizens, we have a great opportunity here. I really believe that we do, to put citizens in a good light. Gun owners aren't bloodthirsty barbarians. We love our country. We love our family. And we love the Constitution. And if you agree with that, then we should be able to unite as family, as brothers, and defend this great nation. Because I've got kids coming up. A lot of you have kids and grandkids. And I want to preserve this republic. It is important. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I'm not going to get political. But I'm telling you, there is issues here at stake. Our freedom's at stake. Liberties are at stake. And I don't care what party it is, what side it's on. You and I need to be vigilant, not be party blind, not realize what's going on around us and make excuses. But I believe as patriots, as Americans, in these crazy times, now's a great opportunity for you and I to rise to the occasions. Our forefathers, even recently, I'm not talking about even like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Thomas Jefferson. I'm talking even recently, the greatest generation. When they seen an issue, they rose to the occasion. Well, here we are in the same boat with things, maybe not to that extent, but things we're facing, things that's coming up in our day. And instead of rising as patriots and united we stand, divided we fall. Here you've got some guy over here disagreeing with a gun or with a ammo, and then now he's not even, well, you're not patriotic, you're a hypocrite, we're not on the same team. What in the world? Guys, I'm telling you, we are under a microscope. People is looking at us, they're watching us, and if they've been on the other side for 20 years, and they fought against gun rights, they didn't like the Constitution, they hated the Second Amendment, but now during COVID and all this that's happened, they say, you know what, I do see the need for a gun. We shouldn't tell them too bad. We shouldn't tell them, you made your bed, you lied in it. You know what we ought to say? Hey, I disagreed with you then, but I'm glad you see why we need it. Here, come over to our side. Here, Let's talk about guns. Let us show you how to shoot. Well, I ain't sharing none of my knowledge with them. I ain't giving them a bit of ammo. Well, I'm telling you, you're not going to win people to our side with that kind of an attitude. I believe it's very critical. I really do. And it's not about being right. It's not about being macho. It's not about being I told you so. It's about you and your family being safe, me and my family being safe, and us protecting the Constitution, the freedoms that we all love. It's the 4th of July. It's Independence Day. These fireworks going off, man, we bought a bunch of them. You probably seen on Facebook. We love fireworks, but it's not just about going boom and seeing. It's what it represents. I mean, the bombs bursting in the air, the freedoms that we have to enjoy, that I want to preserve this republic for my kids, my grandkids if time lasts. And I'm telling you, we are in a warfare. We are in a battle. And what I'm saying is we need to put and join our efforts together, whether you're a shotgun guy, a Glock guy, a 40 guy, a 9 guy. If you're for me and I'm for you, like I said, regardless what Mr. Wilson defended that church with, regardless if you like a 357, regardless if you like the Smith & Wesson, he defended those people heroically, and that's what we ought to celebrate. Now, if we're at the gun range and we can have differences of opinion of firearms or of ammo or whatever, but at the end of the day, we're all in this together. And I think we miss that so many times. We fight amongst ourselves about things, and we're so ready to call somebody unpatriotic or excommunicate them if they don't agree with everything they say. Or there's people I look up to, but we should be able to carry. Scott in Buffalo was here. I thought that was really neat. We didn't have it planned, but all three of us carried different guns. All three of us carried different calibers, and we all three had different holsters. And you know what? It was okay. We're all on the same team. Scott had that holographic scope on that Canic, and he done great with it. I didn't care much for it, but you know what? He done great with it. So as long as he does great with it, good for him. And that's what we need to, I really believe, focus on. And even I can't believe the people when you say come together, they're like, well, we can't come together. You're just... Buddy, I'm telling you, we better come together. We better realize that we're all in this together, and our future is at stake. And I don't want to bring no gloom and doom to you this 4th of July, but if you can't look around and see this country's facing some problems, then, like I said, we better get our eyes open. And like I said, watch what you say on social media. Watch how you act. Watch how you portray the gun community, because I want us to be portrayed as vigilant, as patriotic, as Americans, as red, white, and blue, as family men that love our family, country, our Second Amendment, our Constitution, not as somebody that's saying these belligerent, foul-mouthed things that when people see it, they're like, well, I don't want to be around him. We need to shed good light, and for not just the hunting, but for the gun community, for the Second Amendment, for what our founders fought, bled, and died for. Soldiers bled and died for our freedom. And on Independence Day, our heart ought to swell with pride. We ought to thank God for our freedom, appreciate our freedom, tell our kids what this really means. And I'm telling you, you and I ought to come together. And like I said, I don't care what gun you carry. I don't care what caliber you carry. I'm telling you, what's important is our freedoms, and that we come together. And I don't edit these videos. Once I start talking, that's it. So if I misspeak, or I'll go back a lot of times and watch a video and say, man, I said that wrong, or whatever. I stammer or stutter, meant to get a point out. But I want this to be as real as I possibly can. That's why I don't edit video. This isn't a professional channel. This is a conversation. This is from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank God for you guys. The friends I've met, the gun community is wonderful, and I want to keep it that way. And if somebody's on the other side, I want to bring them over to our side. I want them to keep their family safe. My goodness, I don't want something to happen to them and say, well, that's what they deserve because they wouldn't gun people. No, I'd love to bring them over to our side so they defend their house, so their loved ones are safe. And that's what it's all about as fellow Americans. I wish you the very best this 4th of July weekend. Like I said, hope you and your family are safe. Watch traveling. Be careful out and about. Check me out on Facebook. Leave your comments. There's a fly flying around here. Must have gotten in the house with the door open. But anyway, check me out on Facebook if you would. Like, share, and subscribe. It means so much. Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you would, as always, keep it family friendly. I know the media is just showing you terrible things. I know there's a lot of craziness going on, but I'm telling you, there's still a lot of freedom-loving, wonderful American patriots out there, and I want you to be one of them. I want to be one of them. I want to be a good light and example, and I tell you, we can do that. We've got a great opportunity. May God bless you. The Kentucky Patriot, signing off.